The drama surrounding the Raiders has taken a dark, almost cinematic turn. The kind where every scene feels heavier than the last and every play looks worse than the one before. What unfolded on Sunday wasn't football. It was a slow-motion disaster, a painful collapse dressed up as a professional game. It was embarrassing, it was pathetic, and for fans, it was the kind of performance that makes you question why you even tuned in. Halloween may be around the corner, but this was the real horror show, one that left even the most die-hard supporters numb. This was supposed to be a competitive matchup, a chance to show some heart against a powerhouse like Kansas City. Instead, it was a lifeless, spiritless effort that ended in a humiliating 31-0 shutout. Pete Carroll has preached one word since the day he arrived: compete. Compete in practice, compete in games, compete every play, yet, from the very first snap, there was no fight, no urgency, no trace of the competitive energy he's known for. What's worse is how he reacted afterward, almost as if this caught him off guard. That's what made it sting even more. Everyone knew this would be a tough game. Everyone knew the Chiefs were going to be a test. But what no one expected was for the Raiders to fold like this, to completely give up before the game even hit halftime. The comparisons being made after the loss were brutal, but fair. Analysts pointed out that this was the Raiders' worst offensive showing since the Jamarcus Russell era in 2008. That's how deep this team has fallen. Think about that. Back to the days of one of the biggest quarterback busts in NFL history. And the sad part? It's hard to argue against it. Geno Smith has been playing like a man lost in his own head. The same quarterback who once revived his career in Seattle now looks like he's forgotten how to play the position. 10 interceptions so far this season, leading the league, and an offense that barely scrapes together 96 total yards. There were 2 whole quarters where he didn't complete a single pass. That's not a rough game. That's a breakdown of fundamentals, confidence, and leadership. Fans have reached the point where they're asking for Derek Carr, Gardner Minshew, or even Aiden O'Connell to come back, names that were once criticized. Now suddenly sound like saviors compared to what's happening under center. That's how desperate things have become. Geno was brought in as the steady hand, the veteran who could run an efficient offense and protect the football. Instead, he's become the symbol of everything wrong with this team: hesitant, inaccurate, and completely unable to spark any momentum. Meanwhile, the Chiefs treated the Raiders like a practice squad. They ran trick plays on 4th and 1, toyed with the defense, and looked relaxed doing it. Even when Gardner Minshew came in for garbage time, the damage was long done. The Chiefs were in victory formation before the 2-minute warning, a moment that perfectly captured the difference between a championship-caliber team and a franchise that can't get out of its own way. Watching it unfold, it was impossible not to think about how far this team has fallen. There's something about the silver and black that seems to drain the life out of quarterbacks. Every player who puts on that uniform seems to lose whatever spark they had before. Geno Smith was solid in Seattle, smart, composed, capable of leading a team. But now, he looks like a man completely stripped of his identity. And the worst part is that this doesn't feel new. It feels like history repeating itself. New coach, new system, new promises. It's the same story every season. Optimism in the summer, disappointment by fall. The life fades out of the team as the losses pile up, and by the midpoint of the season, they're already mentally checked out. Pete Carroll was supposed to bring stability, experience, and culture. Instead, he looks like he's aged a decade in a few weeks. The same man who once promised 10 wins now looks like he'd be lucky to scrape 6. Even rookie Ashton Jeanty summed it up perfectly after the game when he admitted that it's been a losing culture here for a long time. That kind of honesty hurts because it's true. The Raiders don't just have a performance problem, they have an identity crisis. And now the noise around Max Crosby has started again. Some fans, out of frustration, have suggested trading him to give him a chance at success elsewhere. But that's not the answer. Crosby is the heartbeat of this franchise, the one constant, the one player who still gives everything, even when surrounded by mediocrity. Trading him would be like tearing out the soul of the team. You don't rebuild by selling your only foundation. You rebuild by finding players who match his fire. What does need to change, though, is the quarterback position. Geno Smith cannot keep starting. The experiment has failed. Week after week, he proves he's not the answer. The offense has been reduced to checkdowns, screen passes, and desperation runs because the coaching staff no longer trusts him to make reads or take shots downfield. That's not leadership, that's survival mode. It's time for a new approach. Whether it's Kenny Pickett, a trade for a veteran like Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota, or even rolling the dice on a rookie, anything is better than watching this offense die a slow death. Pete Carroll's stubborn loyalty to Geno is baffling. He preaches accountability but doesn't enforce it. When Jackson Powers Johnson had a rough game, he was immediately benched. When Geno Smith struggles week after week, nothing changes. When other players mess up, they're replaced or publicly called out. But Geno, protected, defended, and rewarded with another start. It's inconsistency like that which kills locker room morale. Players see it. They know who's getting special treatment. And once that belief in fairness is gone, it's hard to get it back. The way this coaching staff has handled Jackson Powers Johnson in particular shows just how lost the decision-making has become. Drafted as one of the top centers from Oregon, JPJ was supposed to anchor this offensive line for years to come. Instead, he's been shuffled around, benched, and publicly criticized. Under Antonio Pierce, he thrived when moved back to his natural position at center. The run game improved, the line stabilized, and there was actual chemistry up front. Then Carroll arrived and decided to overthink it, switching him again and creating more chaos. The result? A line that can't communicate, can't protect, and can't snap the ball consistently. It's not just a personnel problem, it's a leadership problem. The Raiders have no clear vision, no sense of direction. Every week it feels like they're throwing darts in the dark, hoping something sticks. The Kansas City loss wasn't just another bad game. It was a warning sign that the foundation is cracking. And unless something drastic changes during the bye week, this season will spiral even further out of control. This team needs accountability. It needs leadership. And it desperately needs a sense of purpose again. The Raiders aren't just losing games, they're losing their identity, their confidence, and their connection with the fans who've stuck by them through everything. So Raider Nation, it's your turn. What do you think happens next? Is it time to bench Geno Smith once and for all? Should Pete Carroll take the blame for how unprepared this team looks? And most importantly, can this season be salvaged, or are we watching another rebuild begin before our eyes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you're still standing with the silver and black, and subscribe for more breakdowns, reactions, and raw, unfiltered truth about the Raiders. This story is far from over, and trust me, the next chapter could be even more dramatic.